good to go. Okay. Well, everybody, welcome back. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Gabriella Smith, co-founder and head of business development for the UpCycle Project. She's been with us before at ATS. We're excited to have her here on the virtual version. The title of her talk is Sustainable Fashion During COVID-19, the Upcycle Story. So a couple notes before we start. We do have a chat and Q&A function. So anybody who has any questions, please feel free to include them there and we will address them at the end. Also, the slides will be available for viewing on the ATS slide share. So to receive that link, make sure you're signed up to our emails and that's how you'll receive that. And that's pretty much it for this. Gabriella, please take it away.
Hi, Jason. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to collaborate with Apparel Sourcing Miami. And I am sad that we're not all together in person, but you know, this is making the best of it. And it's fun to be here to share our story. I'm going to try to share my screen with everybody so that we can look at what we've been up to pre and post COVID-19. So bear with me while I share my screen here in the screen button. There we go, share. This is it. Jason, can you confirm that you see this for me?
We're good to go, yep.
Perfect. Let's just put you guys up here so that it's not distracting. All right, well, I'm here in my dining room office, like most of us during this wonderful pandemic that we're living. I hope that everybody's really safe and staying well and ready to speak a little bit about sustainability and really creative circular solutions. So the UpCycle Project and the UpCycle Foundation is a nonprofit that focuses on precisely that, creative circular solutions for a more resourceful world. So we want to be able to use what we have and the resources that are at hand that are wasted to be able to make better products so that we can use them on a regular, life. For instance, this t-shirt has been upcycled from different organic cotton and also plastic bottles. So my t-shirt is a great example of how recycling in fashion is working to create functional wearable products. So that's really what we want to leave you here today with this talk. We want you to know that it is possible to recycle textile to textile, and this is how we do it. So the US in general has around 25 billion pounds of textile waste that go into the landfill every year. If we look at that in personal terms, that's around 70 pounds per person that we throw away, either consciously or unconsciously. Think of that one sock that you don't have a pair for, and your children's clothing if you have children, that if they're growing out of it, you don't donate it, it has a hole, so all of these little things really do mount up to around 70 pounds per person that go straight into the landfill. This is not counting incinerations by textile companies or different waste management systems. So it's a really educational, our platform focuses on education and educating everybody that this is truly a problem, that we can do something with these materials and prevent ourselves from using new resources to create those new ones. In the hospitality industry, for instance, if we look at hotels and schools, for instance, there is around 1.1 billion hotel rooms in the US. Okay, that's great. Right now, especially during the pandemic, hotels are going through a very hard time for obvious reasons. So hopefully this is a program that a lot of them will adopt post-pandemic. The hotel industry discards around 5.5 billion pounds of textile waste a year. So think about that. If you go to a hotel and you stay in a beautiful room with pressed and clean bed sheets, those bed sheets get washed and pressed at really high temperatures. And the fibers of those bed sheets usually, they start disintegrating quite faster than the ones that we have at home because of the high temperatures that they usually wash them with. So once a hotel has gone through that one set of bed sheets, they may donate it if it's still in good condition, or they may just simply incinerate it or dump it into the landfill. What we offer through our program is that for us to be able to take those textiles back and prevent them of going into the landfill. So on average, every hotel has around 3 sets of bed sheets per hotel room. So say that they discard just one, if we assume that, then we have around 1,265 pounds of textile waste per year per hotel, which is more than a ton that could be diverted. So all of this research led us to believe that there is an opportunity in the market for us to be able to recycle it. In order for us to be in line with the sustainability goals that basically the whole world is aligned to, we use the Sustainable Development Goals that have been created by the UN. What we really love about the Sustainable Development Goals is that they come with measurable sub-goals, for instance, that we can manage our progress with. And we only focus on 2 that we find that are the most, that they're the most in line with the program that we've created. So one of them is number 9, industry innovation and infrastructure. And so industry innovation, the objective is to build a resilient infrastructure to promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization and foster innovation. What we're doing is quite innovative because it fosters all of the new recycling that's going to come out post-pandemic, I hope, is not just going to be recycled plastic bottles, but we're really going to be able to recycle textiles at a grand scale. And it's not just pre-consumer, pre-consumer, it's going to be post-consumer. So we're going to target different industries. So we're really creating a whole new industry of textile recycling, kind of like metals. If you're familiar with metal recycling, this has been done already for years with metals. And then something that I really truly believe at my core and promote every day is responsible consumption and production. So we are not only telling you guys to say, oh, okay, look, we recycle and that's our business. No, we take that into our personal goals. So in our company, everybody who works with us really believes that everything that we do has an impact, and that impact will impact the rest of the world. So we are very careful on the products that we buy, especially fashion, because we like to say that we're a fashion education platform. So we make sure that all of the clothing that we buy are with using natural materials, that they take care of their workers, and that everything has been done in a transparent supply chain. Transparency doesn't mean sustainability, but transparency means that us as consumer can have information to make better choices. So that's why we look for transparent companies that that promote responsible consumption and their production of their clothing. Guys, feel free to ask any questions. Well, I guess we'll do questions at the end. This is the funny thing about webinars, that I can't see anybody's faces, so I feel like I can't read the room. But anyhow, I'm really excited about this program. So Loop is the name of the program that we've created, and it focuses on circular solutions. We really believe that recovering textile waste directly from the source to be upcycled into new products and materials is key to the world that we really want to live in. There is absolutely no reason as to why we have to waste perfectly good textile without having it go directly to a recycling company. And for that, you can apply it to name your material, especially plastics. So we've accommodated the program to be able to accommodate most all textile. However, we can't take absolutely everything. So we're not, for instance, say like the Goodwill, we wouldn't be able to take a spandex workout outfit or a viscose shirt, for instance, or we have to be able, we have only been able to recycle 100% cotton and 100% polyester or any blend thereof. Luckily for us, we've we've launched Loop on hotels, so through the hotel industries, and through uniforms. Any company that's using uniforms that are 100% polyester, we are able to recycle it, and also schools, because schools tie with education, and we are all about educating the consumers and the general public as to what we can do with the clothes that we no longer want. This is a small graphic for the Loop program that I find very helpful to just kind of understand how the program works. At the beginning, I'm sorry if you guys can't see here, let me move that out of the way. So at the beginning, we start here with the business with textile waste. Like I mentioned before, the business could be a hotel, or it could be a school, or any company that uses uniforms that are, you know, the same materials. We collect them, we sort and we cut them, and then we upcycle it or downcycle it into yarn that goes into a different factory to make it into products such as this t-shirt, and then it re-enters the market through a retailer or through our website at the UpCycleFoundation.com. So this is basically what Loop looks like on a good day. It's important to note that we are nonprofit because all of these stops in our supply chain have a high cost, right? That our usual virgin cotton t-shirt wouldn't have. And therefore, we've decided to become nonprofit to solve this problem and do a good for the community as a whole, and be able to apply for grants and different government subsidies to take all of the textile waste that goes into the landfill and divert it into this loop. Together with the program, we've also aligned each company with a sustainability goal, right? So we want each hotel chain, each hotel individual hotel brand or school or company to have sustainability goals. And Loop really helps reach those sustainability goals, because with every single step on our supply chain, you have a positive impact on the world. So for instance, you're going to be recycling uniforms instead of incinerating them, and that has a positive CO2 reduction. So there are a lot of different environmental benefits that come in with the program. We also offer a certificate of environmental activism, which really celebrates the fact that you are donating your textiles into a nonprofit that is willing to recycle them. So that really celebrates a big milestone for everybody's sustainability goals. Then, of course, our collecting schedule helps make sure that we are using the least amount of fuel to be able to transport all of the textiles that have been collected. So for instance, we will have the hotels usually hold their inventory until they have a certain amount, so we can collect the most during the one round, and we just don't have one hotel, but multiples. And then we create a Loop community. So as we know, even though we're all far away from each other, you know, for instance, apparel textile sourcing right now is creating a virtual community. The same thing that we do with Loop. We offer community service programs and ambassador programs. We really want people that work in the schools, that work in the hotels, to be champions for this circular solutions model and really understand what happens in the process. So I think that it's really, really important for people to really believe and believe that they can make a change just by joining the Loop. We also do a lot of panel discussions. We do book clubs, sustainability driven events. And so there was a funny story, because I went to present to a hotel and they said that they had very strong sustainability goals, and they handed me a cup of water. And they told me that they don't use plastic straws. So, they hand me this cup of water that is plastic, and then they hand me a paper straw. So those are the kinds of things that we love to, call out and just tell them, look, this is great that you have the sustainability goals, but how do we really come full circle and create something that's cohesive? Because you can't have a plastic cup and then with a paper straw and say that you have any sort of, you're doing the best that you can, yes, but I feel like you haven't thought it through. So we'll go in and we'll really help and point out those things and provide different solutions for, the plastic that they're using or the different textiles that they've used or can change. Sustainability goals, also through the UpCycle Foundation, we help you create those sustainability goals and really understand what you as a brand or you as a person or you as a school really value, because we feel like sustainability is easily adopted when you believe in something. So for instance, I'll give you a fashion example. If you are an animal lover and you say that you do not want to, eat any animal products or wear any animal products, you're going to be able to find great fashion in the cruelty-free section. So, however, that also has different impacts as to what impacts, if you wear a faux fur coat, what is that faux fur coat going to be made out of? Essentially, it could be plastic. So it really depends on what you value. So once you have those values clear, then you have a roadmap as to how to work on your sustainability goals effectively. And that's something that we can help them do as well. So the environmental benefits that Loop offers are impactful reductions on the environmental resources. There's water reduction because we no longer need to use new materials to make consumer products. We have less chemicals used because they are not dyed with water, but essentially all of the fibers are mixed together to come up with a certain color of yarn. We of course reduce waste and CO2 emissions, and we prevent a lot of different textiles to go into the landfill. A lot of the people that we've worked with actually have requested that we take their plastic bottles and turn them into polyester. So that is something that we've done, and that we were looking to do a very big festival that happens in Miami every year. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, it was canceled. But that is something that we also have the capability to do. So if you have for instance, a mall or a factory that produces a lot of plastic waste in the form of PET, we can take that and again turn it into functioning polyester to make new product instead of having to use oil. That's where plastic comes from. So great. Loop, so this is a certificate of environmental activism. We're really proud of it because it really champions the donations that people give us, and really it happens with different tons that we donate, that we collect from the donors. So for instance, all of the schools that we have right now in South Florida, we have some in Broward County, in Miami-Dade County, as well as Palm Beach County. They're all planet protectors. And one of the biggest takeaways that I had from working with schools, these are elementary schools and middle schools, was that we leave boxes in all of the schools to collect the unwanted uniforms. And a lot of the children really read the box, and they didn't realize that they could also recycle their textile. So I think that is such a wonderful opportunity for us, not only to recycle, but to also educate future generations. And we're really proud of it. Hopefully our first hotel is coming this June, and they're gonna be recycling masters, as we will be collecting all of the textiles from this particular hotel because they have been bought out, and it's going to be remodeled. So we're getting all of the bed sheets and all of the beach towels, etc. So we're very, very excited about that coming out of the pandemic. Oh, it's blue. So if you want to reach out to us, please, write us an email, hello@theupcycleproject.org. Our website is officially coming soon. And right now we have UpCycleFoundation.com as well as Upcycle Project on Instagram. So anything that you really need from us, please do drop us a line, and I look forward to answering any questions that you may have, right now with Jason.
I'm coming. 1 second.
I'll open the questions too. If you want, I'll stop sharing my screen.
Okay, thank you, Gabriella. Very informative.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have a few questions here. I'll get right to it. Where are you going to recycle collected bed sheets?
That's a great question. Let me just move over here. So we have different factories around the world that we've partnered with. Some of them are in Mexico, North Carolina, and Spain. So yes, it's a multinational operation, just because there are not many textile recycling companies here in the States.
Okay. Same attendee, which companies can partner with your NGO?
Any company that wants to make a difference by recycling textile waste, we can partner with. It's just a matter of looking at exactly the makeup of the textile in order to make sure that we can actually recycle it, and into what. For instance, there's upcycling and there's downcycling. So think of a plushie, a stuffed animal, right? What goes into a stuffed animal, sometimes it's recycled polyester that can't be recycled into a yarn. So they stuff it. Also in the automobile industry and the upholstery industry, they use a lot of downcycled textiles to be able to fill our furniture and our cars. So we have a lot of different possibilities.
Okay, next question. Are you also partnering with factories out of the US for this? For example, I'm sure there are lots of manufacturing units out of the US looking to get into sustainability, but have lack of direction and ideas on how to proceed into this segment altogether.
That is a great question. So it depends on where you are and where these companies are, because it takes a lot of resources to be able to ship all of these goods from around the world. Essentially, we're a logistics company. So it just really depends. We take absolutely every single person case by case, because everybody's different and everybody has different textile waste needs. There's different waste streams. So if you think about it, every single dry cleaner can be a waste stream, because when you forget your clothes in the dry cleaners, they can do whatever they want with it after a year if you forget it. So if you count all of the dry cleaners in the United States alone, then you have a really big waste stream of forgotten goods there. So it just really, it gets really weird. So we really take it case by case.
Okay. Are there local places or businesses that you collaborate with?
Yes. All of the schools that we work with are local, and the hotels are local to Miami. So businesses in what sense? So businesses like, I don't know, I can't see the question, so I don't know.
Yeah, if you click on the Q&A tab at the very bottom.
I'm trying. It's not working. Let me stop the screen share and let me see. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All right. Now I can see all these questions. You don't have to read them unless you want to.
I can. It's up to you.
All right. So let me see. All right. Where are they? Okay.
I think we're towards the bottom here. There's two more. Yeah, the bottom two.
Got it. So if we own a small batch factory, can you take extra fabric scraps left over from production? Yes, we can. Please send me an email, and depending on what the material is, we can take it. So if you have cotton or polyester materials, yes, the answer is yes. Dana. All right, so Adriana Villaseñor. For individuals who want to participate and donate clothes does your organization support that? If so, how? So we work very closely with the Goodwill and Salvation Army. We do not take post-consumer goods at this time because our operation is just simply not designed for that. We are mostly designed for industrial and very similar types of waste. So if that makes sense, Adriana. Are the local places or businesses that you collaborate with? Are there local?
I think you already ordered that one. There was a couple more. If you scroll down at the bottom, there's one from Anonymous. Is the UpCycle product, say, a T-shirt cheaper?
Ah, okay. So yeah, that's a good one. So is the upcycled product, say, a T-shirt cheaper or more expensive than the original? If so, for how much? So for the last year and a half, I've been trying to look for an alternative T-shirt to the regular 100% cotton that comes from recycled cotton or recycled PET, which is recycled polyester. And I am happy to be wearing one of them. So the price is tricky because the t-shirt industry is a commodity. So unfortunately, right now, recycled or upcycled t-shirts are slightly more expensive than regular t-shirts. So it just depends on the quantity that you want to buy. So say that, I mean, perhaps it's like 40% more expensive right now to buy an upcycled t-shirt instead of a regular cotton t-shirt, which hopefully that when this industry continues to expand, those prices will come down, I hope. And then, okay. So Sanyana, yeah. Do you partner with design companies to come up with innovative ways to restyle and recycle fashions? We would love to work with you. Great. I would love to work with you too. Design solutions based out of Toronto. Great. So I had a really fun call from someone from Toronto this morning, and you guys are super creative, and I really love that city. Yes, we have upcycled challenges all the time, and we work with a lot of different schools to upcycle different goods. So if you are a design company, maybe we could do an upcycle challenge with students, or we could also help you come up with different designs with the different upcycled, with the different materials that you have so that they can be upcycled. One of the things that we really are passionate about is to make sure that the upcycle design is wearable and that people really like it and like connect with their style. A lot of upcycle that we've seen sometimes has, you know, they're crafty and people don't look at it as fashion. They're like, oh, you know, it's really nice because it's good for the environment, but it's not something that I would wear. So what we do when we have upcycle projects with students is that we really try to focus on and having those pieces be very wearable so that people wear them and love them, and they're not just, you know, garbage in, garbage out. Do you have any companies in the Twin Cities that collaborate with your organization? None right now in the Twin Cities, but we're open to, we're obviously open to working with everybody. What are the best opportunities you see to increase the scale and reach of UpCycle? So James, what are the best opportunities you see to increase the scale? So our project is very scalable, it's economic. So what do we need? We need to be able to have enough capital to be able to ship and collect all of the goods that all of the textile waste to make it into yarn. And once it is yarn, then the industry needs to be there to purchase it back and make products and find values in those products. So I think that there are great opportunities because now people want to do better and they want to use less natural resources to make the goods that we're used to having. So I think that that's where the opportunity lies, where we're offering a product that uses less resources at a price that is slightly premium, but we're able to make it. And so the consumer is really going to resonate with that, and they're going to purchase those products versus others if their budget allows. I hope that answered your question. Ian, Mel, do you supply self fabrics to designers directly? So yes, as of last month, yeah, we started only offering this kind of jersey fabric for t-shirts, and it's made out of recycled cotton and recycled polyester. We are also partners with non-cruel silk, so cruelty-free silk. And there's a company out of India that makes the most beautiful silks, and they don't kill the silkworm. So we're really happy to partner with them. And they're also, we have a textile library of different recycled cotton factories out of Latin America, and different people who make biomaterials and different things. So Ian, yes, we do supply and sell fabrics directly to designers. And if we don't sell that fabric that you're looking for, we'll connect you with somebody who can make you a sustainable fabric. Yes. So does your product t-shirts have a third cycle? So this anonymous attendee, a third cycle is that, yeah, we can recycle it. So instead of having it be linear, what we're really looking to do is to be able to sell you t-shirts and then take them back and recycle them and downcycle them as many times as we possibly can. So really the whole thing here is to have cradle to cradle design, not cradle to grave. So if we were able to make all of the goods that we wear be reused and recycled, we're able to have endless life, you know, depending on the fibers, of course. But I read a book called The UpCycle, and it was really helpful because it showed me that there are two different, let's say, hemispheres, right? There's the biosphere and then there's the technosphere. And the biosphere has everything that is biodegradable, so everything that you can put back into the ground. And then the technosphere are those things like, you know, the metals in our computers and all the technology that we've come up with that cannot go back into the ground. But in both those spheres, we can have circular solution models to help us recycle and extend the life of all those ingredients and materials that we use to make our world a more comfortable place. Because a lot of people sometimes think that sustainability is, you know, giving up all your comforts. And I don't believe that. I believe that, you know, sustainability means just be smart with what you have and use the resources at hand to make them live longer and to reuse them in different ways. It doesn't mean that you have to, you know, now wear like, I don't know, like pants made out of your old t-shirt. No, it means like what can you do through industry to innovate to be able to use the material itself, you know, not the end product, which is the t-shirt. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense, Jason? Somebody,
I think it makes
nod at me.
Very well articulated. Do you ever, do you ever see a time where these practices are becoming more widely adopted? Do you ever see a time where it will get to a point where it will actually be more cost effective to do these cyclical models rather than something that's just linear?
I think that we have to, okay, so my first answer is yes. Like I do find the you know, like technology, like when the first computer was made, it was, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and now everybody has a computer in their home. I think that it's going to be like that. I think that the consumers are the ones that are going to be able to decide what kind of products they have, and the companies are going to be forced to, you know, to purchase the materials that are better for the environment, because like we have finite resources. Like we don't have endless amounts of water in the world or endless amounts of oil in the world. I mean, our resources are finite. So at one point we're going to have to start thinking, hey, what if we just reuse this instead of going into the ground for, you know, hundreds of meters to get this black oil, you know? So like, why don't we just use all of this plastic that we've created to make stuff out of it? And I think that that's where the industry is going.
Right. And it seems like it's kind of a system situation, not so much, you know, the fact that it seems like the amount of effort it takes to process these raw resources, right, is sometimes as much or more than it would take to recycle the product, the end result. And it looks like at this point, it's just that the infrastructure hasn't been built up to recycle. as much as it has been to extract. So, but you do see like operations like yours are ensuring that infrastructure and that system is slowly being built, correct?
Exactly. Yes, that's really our goal, because the scalability is there. We're not going to stop using the products that we're using. You know, we're not asking people like never to wear a new t-shirt again. We're just asking for like a replacement of materials that, you know, lessen the finite resources that we have.
Yeah. Do you see a trend in, I know there's been some talk about fast fashion, the bell curve slowly starting to become less in vogue as it was maybe 5-10 years ago. Do you do you see that trend continuing, and do you see that people are shifting more over to a mentality of, oh, you know, they have more of a nostalgic view on what it is they wear and the items they purchase?
So holistically, yes, like people are like, yes, I really want to buy slow fashion, and, you know, I really want to do well for the environment. But when that slow fashion is, you know, $400 for a shirt, people are like, oh my gosh, I really love the idea, but my budget is $40 for a shirt or $4 for a shirt. And so that's when, you know, the shocking realities of fast fashion versus slow fashion come into term, because there's a lot of, I mean, fast fashion, I broke up with fast fashion a year ago, right? And it's like breaking up with a bad boyfriend, right? So it's like you keep running into him, and, you know, all your friends love him, and everybody keeps inviting him to the party, and it's like, come on, you know, like, and as a person, you have to really have your values really straight. It's like, why am I not buying fast fashion? Well, because they overproduce, and they take so many resources from the environment that are not necessary, because they don't pay fair wages, because they're not transparent. But then they also, you know, fund a lot of different textile companies that are innovating, you know, because they have that kind of capital. So you really have to be able to understand the entire fashion industry before pointing fingers and saying, you know, fast fashion is bad or fast fashion is good. You know, like, you really have to have your values set and understand why you're not, you know, purchasing fast fashion, but then also understand what good they are doing. You know, there are big sustainable fashion advocates that were like so glad that all of the H&M stores went out of business in Milan. And, you know, they're like, okay, you have to really think about what you're saying, because like those H&M stores in Milan employ a ton of people in Italy, you know? So yes, we don't like their business model, but we also understand that they are providing jobs and the well-being to a lot of different people in Milan. Perhaps not in India, where they're getting the products made, which is something that we have to talk about and make them be accountable for. But, you know, like, I don't like playing enemies on different brands and different things, because I think that everybody does good, and some do more good than others. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but.
No, that makes complete sense. Yeah, and I think with companies like yourself and projects like the Upcycle Project, and, you know, as technology continues to progress, both on a manufacturing and systems perspective, but also the more people discuss it, the more popular and in vogue it will become. And I think we'll see some progress, especially here in the next 10 years. So that's all the time we do have. Looks like we don't have any more questions for Gabriella, but this will all be available for you on the Facebook page, the ATS Miami Facebook page, and we will also be sending out the link to the slide share for anybody who wants Gabby's material. Gabriella, thank you so much again.
Jason, thank you for having me. It's been great.
Take care, everybody. Have a good one.
Thanks. Have a great week.
Bye.